Hello and welcome to my How to Make a Crown tutorial. First, we start out by measuring the circumference. I'm using a perforated band and wire to make up the base of the crown. Use the measured circumference and add 1 to 2 centimeters to that measurement depending on the fabric or fur you intend to use, as they tend to bulk up and make the circumference much smaller. Next step is to decide on the shape of the crown. This one is going to be heart-shaped with a dip in the middle, so 3 arches needs to be made. One could go with 4 or with a more rounded arch. But I've cheated and cut most of the base shapes already, but left 1 double arch to show you how I go about it. I used the holes in the perforated band so I can get the length and center of the arch the same as the others. Then I carefully bend it to avoid sharp bends, as I want an as smooth arch as possible. You need a bit of an overlap to be able to fasten the pieces together with wire, as you can see here. Up next is placing the arches. The holes in the perforated band is great because you can count them and get the arches evenly spaced all around. When the arches are where you want them to be, you wire them in place. The base shape of the crown is finished, so now we have to pad it. You'll need some stretchy fabric. I've gone with the stretchy velvet here, or crushed velvet, more like it. I'm going to cut some strips of velvet that are approximately twice the width of the perforated band. As the velvet has some stretch to it, it makes it easier to pull the fabric tight around the frame. I use pegs, cloth pegs or whatever pegs I have, to keep the fabric in place, so it's way easier to sew it on the frame. As you can see here, I use quite a lot of pegs. And then now it's time to sew the velvet onto the crown. The velvet is finally sewn on, and now, next step, picking out the fur. I chose to go with a bit of spotted fur this time, and as before we have to cut pieces or strips of the fur, and as we're dealing with fur, I would definitely recommend not using a pair of scissors but to go with a scalpel, as that will allow you to get less fur all over the place and gives a better result. So scalpel is advised. Measure again twice, at least twice the size or width of the perforated band. Again, peg the fur onto the frame, makes it way easier to sew it on. When I sew this onto the frame, I tend to use the holes in the perforated band to anchor the fur to the frame through the holes, and then I just stitch the fur on the back side so it stays together. The stitches won't be seen, but go with a black thread unless you have all white fur or something, so it will become invisible. Now the real fun begins. I'm using filigree pieces to make up the decorations, and as you can see, to try out the filigree pieces I'm using glue tack to make them stick together without gluing them first. Makes it easy to see what works and what does not work. And then I peg these things into place. Yes, it's a lot of pegs in these videos. And yeah, I peg them into place as you see here. And I've used glue tack to keep the gems in place on the filigree parts. As you can see here, I'm not only using gems and filigree parts, I'm using old jewelry as well, which I cut to pieces and yeah, use it wherever I find it suitable. So the blue pieces, blue jewelry pieces here on the filigree is parts of a necklace that I simply cut to pieces and used wherever I saw fit. I also used filigree to dress up the arches to make them look like all metal. So several filigree pieces can glue together to make up one piece of the crown, which you can see here. As you can see, the crown is starting to come together. The arches are all dressed up in filigree, and I made a centerpiece using an old cross in plastic and some clay foam to make the round base shape. It's time to start putting all those filigree and gems in place. So putting on all those pre-made filigree pieces, most of them I've already glued the gems on, and now it's time to sew them into the fur. With the big filigree pieces in place, it's time to cut the inner fabric for the crown. To get the right amount of fabric for the inner side of the crown, I've used a bowl that matches the circumference and fits over my head. I place the fabric inside the bowl and add a little bit extra and cut around the edges. And as you probably expect by now, I'm using those pegs again to fasten the fabric around the edges of the bowl before I cut. And again, bring out those pegs, peg the fabric to the frame and try to distribute the fabric evenly around the edges of the crown. And now it's time to sew the fabric onto the crown. As the fabric and the fur is bulking up, it can be quite tricky to get the needle through it all. So I'd advise using a thimble or something to help you push through the thickness. As the inner fabric is in place, it's time to adorn those arches. I'm pegging some filigree pieces in place before I start gluing them on, just to make sure I get them pretty evenly distributed along all the arches. Some of the jewelry pieces I made need some extra jewelry. So here I'm using an old fake pearl necklace and adding those small pearls to the lion emblems. As I said before, I'm reusing old jewelry, and here I'm cutting up a crystal link of some kind. And as you can see here, I've added strands of beads and crystals to the arches. Unfortunately, that clip was destroyed somehow, so that will not be added into this tutorial, but it's general just gluing the strands into place. I wanted to sew the beads on, but that was not possible, unfortunately. And voila, here's the finished crown. Imagine, just a little while ago, this was some perforated band, wire, some old jewelry, filigree, and some other things just lying about. Thank you so much for watching my first tutorial. Feel free to follow me on Facebook at Cyanida66, and here's some more crowns I made using perforated band.